Today we're going to talk about a man, the myth, the legend, a man named Brian G. Johnson. I've known Brian for about 5 years now, and every time I see him, you never know what you're going to get. This guy, he's like, just kind of in your face, you know. Reminds you of a mixture between Kramer from Seinfeld, maybe Jim. You guys remember Jim from Taxi? I mean, that's the Brian G. Johnson that I know. And he's so full of energy. He's a funny guy, but most importantly, this is a guy that people actually learn from. You know, he's a savant, if you will. You know, he's got that brilliance, that genius. He has the ability to take like simple things like traffic and conversion. Who'd have thought that's the key to making money online? Okay, well, Brian Johnson has figured out that you can use simple ways to get that traffic and get those conversions. He had this crazy thought one day that in October, people buy Halloween costumes. And he taught people an easy way to sell Halloween costumes online. And people made money from it, lots of money from it. He's made a ton of money teaching people simple concepts. And today he's going to show you 6 ways that you can make money the Brian G. Johnson way. But he's also going to debut something. It's called his wealth war cry. And we've heard a little bit about it, but I really don't know what a wealth war cry is. So what do you think a wealth war cry is? Let me hear it. It's gonna be a noise. What's a wealth war cry? Come on. Give it to me. Yes. What does it sound like?
Wealth war cry.
Next. Yeah, that's a wealth war cry. All right, everybody stand up right now. I want to hear everybody give me your wealth war cry. Stand up, big round of applause for my friend Brian G. Johnson.
Share what I know about having fun, living large, making money online. You know, when I got started in this game, it was one thing. Can anybody guess what that might be? Money, money, money. Money. And that was it. Why do we want the money?
You get the babes.
You get the babes? That was part of it. This is what I thought when I was a young man, about 9 years old. I thought I was in school, and I was like in class, and I was, you know, listening to these things I could do. Like I could be a doctor, or I could be a lumberer, or a carpenter. I could do these different things in life. And I just kind of sat there and daydreamed. And I thought, what's this I hear about like working for yourself? Calling the shots, living life on your terms, doing what you want to do, the way you want to do it, Mark. You want some of that?
Yes.
Give me some, right here. All right, so that's where I got started. So today, I want to share with you what I've learned about funny money and having life your way. So I want to ask you, EBR, what do you want?
Money.
Excellent. Justin, my brother man, what do you want?
More money.
Everybody, what do we want?
Money.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Money.
When do we want it?
Now.
Actually, I tricked you. That's pretty good, but let's get started. Okay, here's the thing. How many of you want to be a wannabe?
Ooh.
Okay. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we stake our claim. We run this. This is the wealth war cry. I'm going to invite you to demand it. I'm going to invite you to envision what you want and go after it. And take a risk. and be the goofy guy or be the serious person, but just do what you want to do and put that mother to sleep that tells you that you're not good enough, smart enough. Today, we demand it. I'm going to share how I got here. Some of the core fundamentals about what I learned about how to reach this level. And first of all, I want to tell you, if you don't have vision, if you're not sure where you're going, you will not win. I do not want to be the bringer of doom, but this is truly what I've learned. Do you know what you're doing? If you don't know what you're doing, stop and figure it out. Doesn't have to be complex, doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to have this grandiose thing, but start and do something. Try. Don't worry about failure, because you're going to fail a lot. Has anybody ever seen me make a typo on Facebook or a grammar mistake?
No.
I screw up all the time, but I don't let that stop me. Vision. Understand how you're going to move forward. Achieve the success in your business. What's it going to look like when it's up and running? How Brian Johnson is going to be delivering that fantastic speech in the year to follow. Vision, baby. Now, I want to help you, and I want to share how I live this. I just don't come up and just give you some woo-woo. I live this every year in the fall. I say, Brian G. Johnson, how will you continue to drive traffic and convert that traffic into an action? Does that make sense? Does that, I mean, what do we all need? Anybody? We need to have people that find our information. If we don't have the ability to get people to see what we're doing, how can we ever impact people? Traffic. When we're able to send traffic, if we can build a list, we can probably make money. Has anybody ever heard that the money is in the list? That's kind of right. We'll talk about that more as we move forward. Traffic into conversion. How about selling a product? Traffic and conversions. This is what I started 2 years ago. And every year in the fall, I said, Brian G. Johnson, what will you do in the coming year? How will you continue to drive traffic and conversions so you can live a fabulously wealthy lifestyle? When I say wealthy, I'm not just talking about money, but I'm talking about living life on your terms. But first, I'd like to tell a story. It took place, EBR, in Orlando, Florida. And I had been a full-time internet marketer for a period of 5 or 6 years. I was extremely successful in my opinion of myself. I was happy with what I was doing. I was making the money. Nobody knew me. I was selling thousands and thousands of costumes. I was earning 6 figures with AdSense. And I got invited to a mastermind. They like me. They like me. It's going to be so fun. I'm going to show up. And so I hurled myself through the air at 30,000 feet, and I was in this little tube. I'm coming down in Orlando. And I just know they're going to love me. It's going to be so awesome. So we get there, and I meet some of the guys. We have dinner. Things are going great. And finally, the big day arrives. And earlier, they kept shutting me up. I'm like, hey, did you hear about the new thing, or the new plugin? It's really confidential and secret, and we can't absolutely talk about any internet marketing. I thought, these guys really are the guys in the lab in their mother's basement, and maybe I should be wearing the tinfoil hat. So anyway, I show up on the big day. I'm so excited, and I sit down, and they proceeded to tell me that I needed to leave immediately. So they kicked me out. They kicked me out. I couldn't believe it. I said, what's going on here? You guys are kooky. You're kookier than me. How could that even be? And so they kicked me out, and it's kind of an alpha male, and he says, you know, here's what I got to let you know. Unfortunately, sir, you're going into internet marketing, and our information is so high level, so super secret, we cannot afford to have any sort of breach of our information. I said, yo, you obviously don't know how B to the G to the J works. You know, I like to figure it out I like to share myself. I like to share the strategies and whatnot. I said, listen, man, if you kick me out, you burn that bridge. That's it. You have an opportunity to take a risk and allow me to stay. And let's move forward together. And I can bring lots of stuff to this group. Anybody here doubt that I could bring some value to those guys that I no longer see anymore? I don't know where they are. They were in fear. So I left. I left that room. I had a nice man cry. I flew back to Minnesota. Who does this? Anyway, so that's my story. Never, ever, ever, because they told me, I should add this, they told me that you will not succeed. You will not succeed at internet marketing. It's far too hard. I already tried. Never, ever allow yourself to be defined by someone else's opinion of you, baby.
Yeah.
Who needs that when you can memorize? Who wants to make money? What if I shared 6 steps that I can guarantee right now today can make you money?
Cool.
How about if we could do it in 6 hours? 6 hours, baby. I want you to have an easy way. This is what I've learned. A lot of people never make it to the finish line. Anybody can relate? Raise the hands up. How does Lady Gaga say it? Paws up, claws up. I think she's one of my people. I'm not sure. I'm on a mission right now to really give you guys some actionable information. Take notes, take pictures of do whatever you need to do. Find my website. This stuff works. First of all, I mentioned this. I live this, okay? Number one, you have to have a mission. You have to know what you want, where you're going. Once you do that, you can make a list of the things you need in order to get what you want. How many of you have ever felt overwhelmed? Raise your hands. Come on, let's be honest here. Get them up. You want to make money? Is it too much? Is there too much going on? Absolutely. If you can list out everything that you need to get what you want, you have an opportunity to do something incredibly powerful. You can say, well, this is what I want. I must have this. You can prioritize. You can say, if I don't get this done, it doesn't work. And you can take that list of 1,200 things, and you can boil it down to the essence, the most important aspects of your success. If you focus on 80% of how to play the game or the rules or the Google algorithm, this is how I live, by the way. 80% of that, you will win. Must have traffic and conversions. If you have an online business, you must have the ability to drive traffic and conversions. When I got started in 1999, there was a couple games in town, but really only one. It was called SEO. There was no Facebook. There was no YouTube. There was no social media. So I said, I guess I should go into, SEO. Number one, baby, how to launch a Kindle book. Drive traffic, get results. Now, some of you, you guys, you're making this too complex. Simplicity is powerful. Simplicity gives you clear direction, right? Albert Einstein. Everything must be as simple as possible, but no simpler, right? As simple as possible, but no simpler. How many of you use lots of plugins or browser enhancements and add-ons? This is your brain using a browser. Okay? This is your brain using a browser with 18 toolbars installed. How can you even write an email to someone important when you can't even see the damn screen? Boil it down, baby. I'm not going to give you 18 things. I'm going to give you 6 simple steps. If you follow those, you'll make money. and you can do it in 6 hours. I've done it numerous times. Traffic and conversions. Now I want to show you, I'm not just up here puffing out my chest. Who here wants to earn $10K a month? Halloween costumes and AdSense. How about $118,000 with AdSense income? Anybody earn 6 figures with AdSense? That's your cue, Mr. Com.
Hello.
eBay, all the above, money and hosting commissions, traffic and conversions, money. 6 simple steps. Let's get started. Now, I follow the wealth war cry, which came to me like a bolt of white hot lightning as I was finishing up my last big project. And that sucker came in, and I didn't even know I was living the wealth war cry. But right here is when I knew I was going to go into Kindle. It was January of 2012, and I decided that I would focus on driving traffic with Kindle, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What you're about to see is based on 438 days of scientific experiments. I have published numerous books. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I think you can learn from all of it. Publishing is powerful. Here's why. How many of you would like to partner with Joel Comm and it won't cost you a dime? Anybody here, would you be interested in that? What if you could partner with the biggest e-commerce site on the internet and it wouldn't cost you anything? Would that be advantageous? What if you didn't have to have a domain? What if you didn't have to have hosting? What if you didn't have to spend any money at all? You could do it for free. You could be done in 6 hours, and you could leverage Amazon. Would you be interested in that? All right, let's go. Case study. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to share it as I know it. The only way I know how. The Brian G. style. 6 hours. I did not write most of the books you've seen. Now what's really exciting for me is I'm going on to the next phase. So I actually did write one book, but I'm going to show you all kinds of books that are really easy to get started with. Would you like to see a book that I was able to complete in 6 hours? It was less than 1,200 words. You guys want to see that? Sure. Check it out. This is a nonfiction book. Very important because it makes it easier. I want you guys to finish the damn thing. Just get it done. Just create an asset. If it's nonfiction, you don't have to do the research. It's already available. Okay? 1,200 words. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of information. Now, I did what I'm about to show you by spending, on average, $50 to $100 per book, and I was able to recoup my investment within a few days. And these books continue to earn me monthly royalties month after month after month. You can do it yourself for free. That's what I'm going to show you how I did, what I did. This was fun. A simple book on space, a children's book. Okay? A children's book because most of the information is done. What do you think a children's book should include? Pictures. Beautiful. How about the language of the book? I love it. Let's make it easy on ourselves, right? I didn't write this book, like I said. Didn't write many of the books. And I outsourced and focused on what I know in my marketing. I was able to leverage Amazon, like I mentioned, and we leveraged the traffic and conversions. Now, I want to show you some proof, okay? I want to show you what happens when you put these 6 steps into action. $987 from one book in 1 month. And I've got dozens of them. $452.50 from a different book, 1 month's earnings. $586, different book. That's the space book. And what's interesting is by this time, the book had been on the market for maybe 2 weeks, and it was already profitable. I spent $75, $80. I got my money back. In the first full month was March, and I earned $280. Who wants some? Anybody? Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's keep going, baby. We got a lot of ground to cover. That same book, months later, earned $228. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, the rankings go up, the rankings go down, the earnings go up. I keep making money. Do the work. Stop fooling yourself. Okay? Don't let your brain screw you up. How many here want to build a list? Okay? Every single day, I can give you my phone, I can show you all the opt-ins that are coming into my list based on traffic and conversions. Now I've got books working for me because now I'm publishing on what I love, which is marketing. So now I have another traffic source, I'm building my list. How about this? This is cool. This is a #1 best-selling book, just like the space book was. This is my student. Wow! I love that. Thank you. I love that. That's Catherine. Catherine has been in numerous programs with me. You know why? Because I get her results. I break it down. I'm for real. This gets real, right? And this is the book right here. This is the first marketing book that I published just about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. I was out selling The Wolf of Wall Street. Did anybody hear that? The Steve Jobs biography. I sold hundreds and hundreds of books. I made it to page 1 of Business and Money. You can't go any higher. There's no more categories in Business and Money. That's pretty cool. So now you've heard a story, and I showed you some examples, and now what I want to do is I want to show you guys how you can do that. Get out the pens, get out the paper, take the pictures, do whatever you need to do. You can do this. Do not let your mind screw you up. You can do this. I started with no list. I published under a pen name. Has anybody here ever heard of Hannah Getty? That's the name I invented to truly move forward with an experiment that was from ground zero. No list, no advertising budget, no previous customers, no blah, 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 blah. So, if you're nervous or filled with fear about publishing a book, I would encourage you to stop and actually think for a minute. Thinking is incredibly powerful. What if someone was wanting to buy a children's book? We talked about it. It doesn't have to be a lot of words. You can use pictures. And if it's not a lot of words, you can hire someone. Do you know how much these books are cheap? Educational. When you do these books, I want to mention this. This is important. You want to appeal to 2 groups of people. Number 1, you're going to have to appeal to who's buying the book? The parents. Do parents want to help educate their children? Sure. Boom. Educate and entertain. Something that I'm practicing. Anyway, kind of, not really. When you go into Amazon, you're going to want to identify the type of books that make sense for the marketplace. You're going to want to try to identify what books are selling well. You know, Amazon provides enormous amounts of information that we can use. Market research. You don't have to buy a software tool. You don't have to hook up complex algorithms and plug in these things. You just open up your browser and you go to Amazon. Simplicity is powerful and it wins the day. Now, let's just say, hypothetically, of course, that we wanted to create a book on butterflies for children. We could do a Google search for butterflies, and time again, we'll find that Wikipedia is ranking in the top. Well, it's #1 almost always, so who cares? And you can go to that page, and you can gather all the information you need to create an outline for a book, right? Here is the outline on Wikipedia. We have a life cycle of a butterfly. We have eggs, caterpillars, some other complex words. I'm not sure what they mean, but that's cool because it's a kid book. I fooled them. Anyway, but never mind that. And it tells you a lot of the information. And you can create your own bullet points. I'm not telling you to copy. I'm not telling you that you should go ahead and swipe a bunch of content and just put up something that's poor. You shouldn't do that. I want you to think about creating a true asset. But you can use this to save yourself a lot of time. You can create the outline, and then you can send it to an outsourcer. And when you give someone a clearly defined job that you actually even understand, they're going to be able to give you back what you need, okay? Now, we're going to need images, right? We talked about, well, we should have some content and some images. There are many sites online that you can use to create these books. The images are royalty-free. You can use them in business. And you can go to this website right here. This is search.creativecommons.com. Okay? Now, what's cool about this site, guys, is you'll notice we've got all these different... We've got Flickr, we've got YouTube, we've got all these different sites. And as you search for, like, gray wolf, you can just say, I want Flickr results. And that will give you the images that you need. Now, after you've gone ahead and created your outline, do you think the outline would be helpful in gathering the kind of images that you should include in your book? Does this seem hard? Who here can't do this? We can all make money. This is a good day. In the famous words of my rock and roll guy, I believe it was Ice Cube. Okay, let's talk about outsourcing. So, like I said, you're going to get the images. Then you can send it to Elance. And I just want to kind of add an exclamation point to this because this is important. The more time you spend on the outline, the better you're going to be able to guide the person that's writing the book, and you'll understand what you want. Has anybody in this room ever outsourced something you didn't understand? Nobody? Come on, tell the truth. How did it go?
Good.
Not so good.
No, it was great.
Well, okay, 1 out of 9. 1 out of 9, take your chances. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to work in Word or Pages. You're just going to, if you're going to write the book yourself, or you're going to outsource it, and these are the notes you're going to send to the outsourcer. So if you're not going to do that, you're going to include this in how to do it. You're going to say, Mr. Outsourcer, this is a children's book based on these topics. I want simple sentence structures. I don't want paragraphs that are 8 or 10 sentences long. I want 2 or 3 sentences that are followed with an image. And you're going to list all the images right between the text blocks. Text, image, text, image. And that'll help the writer because they'll see the images. Easy to read. Should be interesting and fun. This is a child. Grab their imagination. Write about dinosaurs. Write about dolphins. Write about what excites you. Follow your passion. Just have some fun. Just do something. Okay. We're going to create assets, right?
Right.
Because the thing is, at this point, I'm just afraid that I won't continue. I feel so alone up here sometimes.
We're here.
All right.
We're with you.
All right.
Not alone.
So we're going to create assets, and we're going to focus on the marketing. This is where I think, personally, this is just me, I think a lot of people screwed up when they got started with Kindle because they went into author mode and they just thought, I'll write a book and then Amazon will sell it. And then it turns out if there's like 3 people that are interested in underwater basket weaving, that even Amazon can't sell a whole lot of that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the marketing because that's going to help us generate more sales. The 6-step formula will help you from not failing because I did the work. I figured it out. I failed and I failed. And then the light bulb went off and I wrote something down. And today we have these 6 steps. Now, we're going to help Amazon sell a whole bunch of our books. Does that sound weird? Like it almost couldn't be true? I want you to think about something. What is the business plan? What's the objective of Google? What is Google trying to provide to consumers? Information, content, good. Authoritative, the very best, probably. How about Amazon? What's Amazon trying to do?
They want to sell things.
They want to sell things. That's right, Frank. I like that. Now, do you think if you partnered with someone that wanted to sell stuff and they happen to be really good at it, you could do it? You can. Now, best of all, they're going to pay you better than most affiliate programs. Better. More, 70% royalties. And they're going to put you in a position of power. You're going to be an author. You can leverage this in numerous ways. This children's book is the gateway book to bigger things, right? All right. Here's some more proof. I asked Mitch, I think it was, I'm like, hey, did you get those emails about your book from Amazon? I love those people. This is my book, #1 up there, smoothie recipes. It says, Matthew Quick, are you looking for something in food and in wine category? And Matthew was helping me with my sales message. He was doing research. And what this is called, has anybody heard of retargeting? Who wants free ads? Who wants free retargeting ads? Woo, I love it. Thank you, Amazon. Retargeting on the house. Step 1 is identifying if there's enough consumer demand to ensure we can move forward and publish something that's going to give us the results we're after. Okay? We're going to take a look at some of the information that Amazon provides. And it's the Amazon bestsellers rank. It's not complex. The lower your rank, the better you're doing in comparison to your peers or competitors. If you're #1, your book is outselling all the other books. When we go into the categories, of Amazon, we can actually see the Amazon bestsellers rank, and that can give us a really good gauge as to how good that book is selling. Powerful. We want to stay below 15,000. Okay? If you're doing a children's book, I would let's increase that number. I would have liked to caught that. Turns out I'm human, and I've changed that a bit. It's 75,000. Okay? And I'll just mention, if you're going to do a children's book, you're probably not going to make $1,000 a month, but you can move forward and get great results. What's up?
So the numbers, is that the books combined or 3 books, all of which are under?
I'll go into more detail for you. I've got some slides here, buddy. This is what this is going to do for you. When you follow what I'm about to explain, is it's going to basically ensure that you're not going to move forward and publish something where there's not a lot of demand, okay? You don't have to lift a finger, do any work, or pay anybody anything until you know that there's money to be made. Now, here's what I wanted to mention, Mark, okay? So if we look here, and we come into any page on Amazon that has a product, there's a section called Product Details. And if we scroll down to the Product Details, there's our Amazon bestsellers rank. Easy peasy. Now, this particular book has a bestsellers rank of 57,000, and there's more help. Amazon's giving us more information. You can see we've got these categories, and if we click these links, we'll be taken to the next page, and is even more wonderful information. They'll basically tell us what are the best-selling books in a particular category. And here, it's hard to read the text. It's like, this is like Fireman Cookhouse kind of book. So if I was in cooking, maybe I was like in a deep category. I could look at all the books in this category and look at their bestsellers rank, and I can get a rough estimate as to how the books are selling in the category. Here's the idea. We want to qualify a category, and we want to understand that the category is driving sales. Okay, 3 books in the top 10 results of any category that has been published for 60 days. Why 60 days? 60 days because consumers love anything new. Has anybody ever seen what happens when Apple releases a new product? Do people lose their mind a little bit? Do they line up? Do they sleep overnight? Do they fight? People like new stuff, so Amazon boosts new products. And if you kind of don't pay attention to those, and you focus on books that have been out for at least 60 days, then you get a clear idea of longevity for a book. That's what we want. 15,000, 75. There's the 75. Got that one. Step 1, that was Amazon promo. And we just covered how you're going to identify the selling category. Now, step 2 is more traffic. Again, these 6 steps will guide you through the most important elements that you need to have success. You're going to qualify the demographics. Now we're going to structure our book so we drive more traffic, not only from Amazon, but from Google. Now, when I got into the space, I heard that you should not pay any attention to Google. I did not like that advice. What I like to do is I get information, I take it in, I think, because thinking is very powerful, I make my own conclusions, I move forward, and I'm going to show you my recipe. Okay. This is my book, again, if you remember, our smoothie recipe book. It's ranking #1 out of 103 searches for smoothie recipes for weight loss. This is a Google search for smoothies for weight loss book, and I'm ranked #1 on Google. Do you think that gives me more traffic? Of course it does. More is better. This is pretty darn good. Step 2, traffic multiplier. A different search term, #1 in Google, because we're leveraging the authority of Amazon. We can piggyback off what they're doing to drive more traffic. Smoothie recipes. So when I first launched this book, it took a while, but I wasn't, smoothie recipes for weight loss on a Thursday when there's a full moon. I wasn't going for that search term. It turns out I was going for smoothie recipes, right? And notice there's 128 results, and my book is #2. Do you see that book #1 right there? Yep. Okay. There's some mistakes there. We're going to talk about that in about 6 or 7 minutes. Okay, I'm going to tell you how you can do better than that person and not drop the ball as we move forward. Now, there's our space book. Now, this is good company. National Geographic. Brian G. Johnson. #1 best-selling books. Awesome. And it's because of how I name my books. So these rankings that you're seeing are based on how I'm titling my books, and I've shown you some more examples of how this works and how powerful it is. And when you start adding all the pieces of the puzzle together, this is what can happen. Again, the one book, 1 month, almost $1,000. Now this is your book title formula. This is important. Pay attention, take a picture, do what you need to do. Part 1 is the primary book title. It should be maybe 4 words or maybe 6 words, and you're going to target keywords. You're going to focus on Amazon, but by all means, go to Google and I'll do some additional research and see if you can find some kind of additional terms, and we'll work those into different parts of the book title. Now, part 2 is what I call the secondary or the subtitle, right? So you have part 1 is smoothie recipes for weight loss. That's an actual search term that I found on Amazon. So then I went to Google and I looked for that, and it showed up too, the same search term. Beautiful. Now, we target the primary phrase, and the secondary phrase, what we're going to do is we're going to do research on Amazon and Google. It'll take you about 12 minutes. It's not hard, you just have to do the work. And what we're going to do is we're going to identify what the people want. Find what they want and give it to them. And any keywords that make sense for the product that we're going to launch, we're going to go ahead and incorporate those in the title. So you can see diet, cleanse, green smoothie, detox, and book. Now, book is important. I'll explain that as we move forward. Here's how we're doing this. How are we doing on time, by the way? 15 minutes? 15 minutes. Kindle Store. We go to Kindle Store, and you're going to type in smoothie, right? And when you type in smoothie, you'll notice we have all these great search terms. And you'll notice there's smoothie recipes for weight loss. That's part 1 of my title. And these listings are not alphabetical, right? So that means that most logically that these keyword phrases are based on popularity. So if you focus more on the keywords that are at the top, that's going to help you move forward. Now, after you've done that, you can continue to search, and you can scroll through the alphabet. Here, I'm searching for smoothie with a C, and then I can add a D. Right? I can go through the alphabet, and in this example, I see cleanse. So I write that down on a piece of paper or put it on the computer, and then I can format my title based on this exact thing. Smoothie recipes, I go back to Google. I know I'm going to target smoothie recipes. I drop that into Google, and in doing so, I can see what people are searching for when they search for the same keyword. Works really well. And you'll see that we've got pretty much the same search term. Smoothie recipes for weight loss. Bingo! And what's the last word there? Book. Now, the reason we include book is kind of like It's kind of silly. A book is a book, but people are looking and they'll type that in, and if you want a little bit more traffic, you can add that to get some leverage. Smoothie recipe book, exactly. Now, step 3 is called the Amazon Money Multiplier. And in the second thing, we just went over the keywords. Now we're going to talk about the title, or the cover of your book. And this was something I had to spend a little bit more time on because it wasn't my area of expertise as I went into this particular marketing space. This is going to help you convert more of the traffic, right? This is the conversion. This is the first book cover I used. There's too much on the screen. It's complex. It's hard to read the thing, right? And I said I could probably do better. I had not honed my marketing 6-step strategy to a razor fine edge at this point. But that's okay because I was learning. How much do you guys think that book was making at the time? $7. It was actually doing better than that. It was making $200 or $300 a month because I did have the traffic down pretty good, right?
It's not an option.
You tricked us.
Okay, well, haha. $200 to $300 monthly, right? Now here, about 2 months later, 3 months later, I said, I think we can do better. And what are our options for covers? Now earlier my assistant was making covers. Clearly they were not cutting the mustard. And they're pretty cheap and inexpensive. You can outsource a cover for pennies. In fact, the one that was outselling the Steve Jobs, I got that on Fiverr. I hired 3 people and spent a whopping $27 or $32 or... I know it's 5. Don't confuse me, EBR. Anyway. So here we go. That's the result of the new cover. All of a sudden it went from $300 to $900. Simple, easy, more money.
Brian,
Yeah.
how did you get that new cover made?
Oh, I went to Fiverr.
That one you did from Fiverr?
I used my assistant.
Your
So-
assistant did the first one that didn't work too well.
Right.
And then the second one, that nicer one.
I have more people, so someone else helped me out. But after a while, like literally, now I'm using Fiverr because I find it's easier, really. I can just go there, I can order the thing, and I order multiple books. And then I choose the best one. This book continues to kick butt. And I continue to try and test. Here's another new cover, and you'll notice I'm listing bestseller. This was another #1 best-selling book, okay? And here you can see, if you just do a Google search, you can actually find pre-made covers and whatnot. And you can move forward, and you can go to Fiverr, or another site that I like is called Go On Right. And if you go to Go On Right, you can buy a great cover that's pre-made and find something that's suitable for what you want to do, and they'll put in the title, they'll add the author name, and the domain is funny because it's Go On Right, and to me it looks like Goon Right. So in choosing a domain, I'm going to give it about a D. But anyway, that's another story for another presentation. So that was your bonus. Okay, tips. Okay, do you remember I said that this other book was kind of dropping the ball? You remember that? They had a white background. The Amazon website it's white. If your book cover is white and you're wondering why you're not getting sales, turns out nobody can find it because it disappeared. So have a border. Add a background, a pleasing light color background. Use contrasting colors. And emphasize your target keywords. So if you looked at my covers, you would notice that I had smoothie recipes every time. Because when people are seeing your book, normally they're searching through Amazon, they're seeing the thumbnail. You want to design for a small version, and you want those keywords that you're primarily targeting to show up and be visible, and it happens in a split second, and the brain will say, that's what you should click, and they will click, and you will win. Step 4 is simple. We're good to go. Very, very easy. Do not overdo it. Do not break the terms of service. Anybody ever lose a revenue income stream that was 6 figures? Did it hurt? Anybody ever lose an AdSense account? Did it hurt? Do not game the system. You want real people to review your books. You want it to happen over time, and you want to stop long enough to think and understand what you really need before you go ballistic and trying to get 100 reviews when all your competitors might have 8 because it's a book about elephants. You don't need to have 300 reviews when your peers have 7, okay? Notice here, my book has 16 reviews. None of those are game. Those are real reviews based on what I'm going to show you as we move forward. Notice here, I think it says 18. There's 2 more reviews, and basically what I did is I gave my book away for free for several days. It was downloaded by a whole bunch of people, and they came and they reviewed it, and I didn't break the terms of service. That's smart. Here's the bottom line. Don't worry about it. It's complicated. Here's the bottom line. You cannot compensate anybody in any shape or form for a review. Can't send a box of steaks. You can't review someone else's book. Lots of people are breaking the terms of service. It drives me mad. Stop it. Unless you don't mind losing a 6-figure revenue stream, and then you're more crazy than I am. So just think about it. Okay. That's what we talked about. I got this. Yeah. Book launch. So once your book is done, we're going to go on to step 5 and 6. Step 5 is basically how to create books, and we talked about that at the beginning of this presentation because it's the biggest hurdle. Now we're going to get into promoting your books. And this is what's awesome. Has anybody ever heard of any like publishing platform that's like, you know, you just push a button and all these good things happen? This is really, pardon me? Yes, that's right. Anyway, so here's the thing. When you sign up with Amazon, you can put your book into a program called KDP Select. That allows you to give your book away for free for a 5-day period. And as your book is coming out, lots of people will download that. And if you create a nice book with good content and you add value to the market, when you create an asset, you will get reviews. Don't overdo it, gang. So step 5, like I said, is magic bullet books. It's all these different ways that I leverage book creation. And we don't have any more time to talk about that, but hopefully the kids' books was something that you like. So like I said, at this point we've got, let's just move forward. Push button promos. We talked about this a bit already. You're going to give it away. You can give your book away, right? And what's really cool is I want to talk about why this works and how it works. This is the Amazon algorithm at work. Now, the Amazon algorithm rewards sales. It rewards activity. When there is a product that is available on the market and it's selling well, the Amazon algorithm goes to work and it identifies consumers that have showed history of interest in that type of a book, and it sends it out to additional people, like the emails I showed you. So when you make your book available for free, it has the same kind of impact because that is an indication to Amazon that there are people that are very interested. They will promote your book, and you can get those free downloads, which can impact and get you the reviews that you need. The column on the right is green, and you'll notice that some of these books have been downloaded a ridiculous amount of times. And the reason that there are so many downloads is because we've got a very strong system based on the most important elements. 6,200 downloads, 2,200 downloads, 700 downloads. The Space Book, when I showed you the 2 reviews, we had a few days earlier like over 700 downloads. People came and I didn't have to do anything. Smart. This is what I want you to know. Do not use all your free days at the same time. I tried many different variations. You can put all your days in a row consecutively. You can split them up. You can do 1 day every 22 days over a 90-day period. Instead, break up your days in groups of 2, 2, and 1. And when you do that, you're going to get more downloads, because after a while, the number of downloads on each day diminishes a bit. I think what happens, there's a lot of people looking for free books. They've seen it already. They've already downloaded it. The second day, the number of downloads drops a bit, and so on. Think about being real. We'll talk later. I'm running out of time. We'll talk later. Think about being realistically prolific, okay? Don't think you're going to put out 1,000 books because they're going to be crap. You're going to be filling the virtual shelves with something that does not add value, and you will not win. Focus on the value. Create a better book. Create a better mousetrap. Focus on the marketing. Now, I actually have a tool that I've developed that makes formatting really simple. If you can write an email, you can format a book. If you can log in to Gmail or Yahoo, you can format a book. So that takes the complexity of how to do that and just makes it really easy. If you'd like to learn more about that, we can talk about that a little bit later. So, does this stuff really, really work? I mean, for average, ordinary, everyday people. This is Brock. He just got married about 1.5 years ago. I think it's, North Carolina. I see him on Facebook all the time. Warms my heart. This guy came in, bought my thing, and started saying these amazing things. It works. I'm living proof of that. And it can work for you, or anybody in this room. It worked for Bob. Bob's another loyal, I don't like to call him customer. I like to think of him like member, or, something like that. It worked for Mel. Mel joined a very expensive coaching program and got all her money back in a month. It can work for you too. Worked for Julie, and it worked for Kathy, and it worked for a lot of people, real methods, real results. And you know what? It's your turn now. You can do this. Who's with me? Today, I stake my claim. Who wants it? Come on. You don't. A coach or a mentor? Did anybody see this movie? I think it was, I like all the Star movies. You got the Star Trek and the Star Wars, right? Can you imagine Luke Skywalker facing off Darth Vader without Yoda? Do not try. Do. What about the Karate Kid? Those were some badass kids, man. They kept beating them up. Who does that? Mr. Miyagi had it down. Wax on, wax off. A coach or a mentor can guide your way to success. This is a proven fact. I spend thousands of dollars on coaching because I deserve it, because I've got places to go, and I would like to invite you to do the same thing. I would like to invite you to invest in your future. I would like to invite you to start believing that anything is possible.
That's right.
Because it is. Anybody in this room likes to have fun, likes to laugh and giggle, likes real results from people that walk the walk and talk the talk. Someone that wants to get with someone that knows this thing inside and out. Today is the day. You know what's really cool? Check this out, guys. Right now, today, is the bookmark. It's the time and place. This is the day that's going to bookmark success for about 5 of you. I'm so excited. This is the day. This is the day when it all happens. You're going to make the decision, and you're going to remember that crazy mofo on stage. But he made sense. Now, here's what I do, and I don't do it often. I don't do it often because I only have so much time. But I like to take people and work with them one-on-one. Simplicity. I like to have a sit down with you and understand where you're going, what you want to do, how you want to do it. I like to help create a plan of action for you. I like to give you an assignment and say, we're going to meet at this time, This is what you're going to get done, and then we're going to move to the next step. We're going to prioritize and simplify. I've got an entire program. You're going to get the membership, the videos, the PDFs. Do you know why you get all that? Because I'm here to be the best damn Brian G. Johnson I can be. And I did the work to be able to stand in this room and deliver value and results for you. This guy made $11,000 within months of joining me. I would like to invite you to continue the conversation with me. I'll be near the back of the room. I'll guarantee you results. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian G. Johnson!
This guy is awesome. And I had the pleasure to work with him myself. And what he hasn't told you is he's got some incredible software that lets you get your Kindle books created, formatted, and uploaded to Amazon. It's not like anything I've seen before. It's fantastic. You need to work with him. Go see him. We're going to take a 15-minute break. Go talk with Brian Johnson. And when we come back, we're doing something very social.
Thanks.
I'm going to ask everybody to leave the back 2 rows empty. We're going to move